Man, this is a question I got to ask because you guys were both essentially solo artists before you met. I know 18 years ago, but you guys both were doing the solo thing prior to that. Hopefully, this will make you think a little bit. As solo artists, how do you think that helped you being a solo artist and being a member of a duo now?
Well, I don't know. I would I would say it's so much better being a duo. Like it is. I do not know how people do this on their own, and it just blows my mind. We talk about this all the time. We both had our strengths as solo artists, and then coming together and having those strengths as a duo is just, I mean, we're getting twice as much done. And we're also splitting all the stuff that most people have to do on their own because we are our own team and we do everything ourselves. And so it's a lot. And I'm just so grateful to be in a duo as opposed to being by myself because it's so hard to sustain, it seems like, when you don't have a team. Like
Yeah.
we are our team. And so I think that we brought both of our strengths to the duo, which is awesome. Basically, I do a couple of things and Ben does the rest.
Wow.
It's the truth.
Well, I don't know if that's completely true. I mean, you can't audio engineer like I can, but she does all the social media,
Mhm.
all the PR.
But Ben is the man behind the scenes. He is a worker. So really, ladies, just find yourself a Ben.
But no, he's got a good point there, though, Cassie, in that, whatever he doesn't do, you do. And then whatever
Yeah.
you don't do, he does. And that's perfect. That's
Mhm.
not just being a married couple, but being a duo of any shape or form, whether you're together or not. That's the name of the
Right.
game, right? You have to pick up what the other can't do.
Mhm.
That's just the way it is. That's what makes you guys a great team. So good point on that, Ben, and
Yeah.
making sure that she gets her flowers because she deserves them for sure. Man, being indie is so damn tough nowadays because of oversaturation and trying to learn
Mhm.
algorithms and social media things and tricks and techniques, and it's certainly not making music, but it's not it's not easy either.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you're
so
right
I
about.
want I wanted to talk about vocally. We mentioned it, alluded to it a little bit earlier, and I do my outlines laying in bed, and my wife is usually next to me. And my research for these interviews is literally listening to music. Guys, it's a tough gig if you can get it. But, so I'm literally, listening to Goldpine, every record, every song, every single, and every music video, and there's a lot of acoustic stuff that you guys have done too. And typically, when I listen to music, it's usually, think of it like a 5-lane highway, and usually you're either in the middle lane, the slow lane, or the fast lane, and those two lanes in between are just never seen. With this group, it's not like that. There is no lane for Goldpine, and I think that's led by her vocals. I listened to 4 songs right off the rip, and I looked at my wife and I said, I've listened to 4 songs, first 4 songs, and I heard Aretha Franklin, I heard
Wow.
Patsy Cline, then I heard Pat Benatar, and then I heard Janis Joplin. And so after the 4th song, I looked at my wife and I told her those 4 names. I said, "You don't understand. They're an Americana duo." So the
Wow.
question here is, I know there has to be a strategy in the importance of your vocals, in the sound and delivery of your music. So talk a little bit about your vocals as an instrument and what that means, not just to you, Cassie, but both of you as a group, because I know it's kind of your signature, not just her lead vocals, but the harmonies as well.
I think that was directed for you.
Well, um, it's crazy. First of all, thank you.
Yeah.
Those, uh, wow, those are some wonderful, some of the best. That's a compliment.
Well, I
And
challenge y'all out there to go listen and tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm lying. I'm just gonna say that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, no, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I mean, when we're writing, I love that you said that we're not in one lane. I love that you said that because we try to just drive in all the lanes.
Yeah.
And just have a good mix. Nothing against what other people do, but sometimes there'll be an artist that I like and I'll find them on Spotify and I'll be like, ooh, I like this. And then I go into their catalog and I'm like, oh my gosh, everything sounds just the same. And then I'm like, I don't want to listen to this anymore. And nothing against them, but what I need and what I want is a variety.
Yeah.
And so I want people to feel like that they're on like this vocal and emotional roller coaster with our lyrics, with the vocals, with the instrumentation. I want it to be fresh. I want it to be unique. I want it to be like you're comparing us to four different people that don't belong together. Like
Exactly
I think
right.
that's just a compliment all the way around. And we just want to give people a variety and just use the gifts we have. And as far as like my voice, it's a gift. It is my instrument, and it's also knowing the sweet spots.
Yep.
And Ben helped me to find those sweet spots, because I'll be like, we'll be writing something and I'll be singing it and he'll be like, let's just try to step up. Let's try to half step up. Let's try this half step down. And he's always challenging me vocally and then finding sweet spots in the song to let me do my thing, but not do it too much, because too much of a good thing, then it ain't a good thing.
Yeah.
So he's really helped me to kind of be able to know when to pull back and when to let it loose. And I'm glad that it comes across that way. That's cool.
Hey Ben, when you're in the studio with her as the engineer, as the producer, how hard is it for you not to be the husband when you're trying to help her through that those ups and downs vocally, not like the ups and downs that people go through. I'm talking vocally
Right.
here.
Well, it depends on the situation. So, because I just had to bring this up because you brought it up. Sometimes in the past we do demos where people would from across the world send their demos to us and for Kassie to sing them. Put them in the studio upstairs, the tracks, and Kassie would sing it. And they're all songs that Cassie's just unfamiliar with. They're unfamiliar melodies. They're kind of weird lyrics. Some of them just are not. A lot of them are not great. And those, it was hard to. It was really hard for Kassie to get a lot of those lines because they just didn't make sense musically. And so in that sense, it was very hard for me to like be patient. I don't know why. Like we had some fights during doing those demo sessions. I'll tell you that.
Uh-huh.
But for our stuff.
But what did we do after those sessions to make ourselves feel better?
So one time we did the worst demo we ever had done.
It was just terrible.
And after we recorded it and probably fought during the whole thing.
Yeah.
We burned it onto a CD and we took it with the lyrics out in the middle of our street and we burned it with fire.
Let's go. That's great.
And then we burned it onto a CD and then we went downtown. This has been years ago and no one was hurt when we did this for everybody out there. We went to the tallest building we could find and we just threw the CD off.
It was a metaphor.
Oh my God. I love that she said no one was hurt by this, and everybody out there is thinking the same thing I am, that we know of.
You never know.
There was nobody down there. No, but it was fun, and I felt so much better. Like especially because like we had been arguing, and I was like, Ben, come here, and I went and got a lighter, and I was like, follow me out here, and I went into the road, and I just lit the lyrics on fire, and they just burned up in the middle of the street, and we laughed so hard.
That's a good memory.
And I was like, I earned that $75 demo.
Okay, so back to our original music.
Yeah.
We come up with the arrangements like as we write them and we figure out the parts, and even as we sing them live and they're new, we're figuring things out and adjusting things. And a lot of our recording, especially on the latest record, we actually do at live shows.
Mm-hmm.
So we're bringing studio equipment on the road with us, and we're hooking up and capturing these live shows through really great equipment. And then I'm kind of mix and matching these things. And that's what a lot of the third record is. So there's not a lot of like studio fights or disagreements because we're not in the studio.
Yeah.
We're trying to capture that live energy. So in that sense, we're not really button heads at all.
And we don't because we've already
Because we
fleshed
write
everything out.
how it should be.
Yeah, and we write it the way it should be.